I do? What did
Super.
I do?
How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I'm resting and healing,
Okay. Super.
getting
You're
it
20.
together.
Super. You're 29, correct?
I'm about to be 29.
Okay, you're about to be 29. A couple of nights back, Super, you said that you wanted to wait to have children until your late 30s because you said you wanted to live your best life and experience more things, correct?
Yeah, with my man.
Well, you didn't use the words with my man at first.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I said that. My bad. I
But
meant
when
with I would be married or in a relationship at the by then, but I don't
okay,
having kids right now is not in the game plan. So if I have my kids in my 35 through 38, that's just what it is. I don't have
okay.
a problem with it.
But what I told you was that, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but what I said when you said what you said, I said, if you have a man that is cool with that arrangement, then you can 100%, accomplish that. However, if you plan to be a single woman and wait until you are in your
Oh
mid
no, no, no,
30s.
no, no. Yeah, I don't plan to be single by then. That's not in the cards.
Okay, but you still when I said what I said though, as far as men like between the ages 25 and 40 when they decide that they want to start having children, when I said that they would have a preference of women in their mid 20s to early 30s, you disagreed. You didn't agree with what I was saying.
I still don't. I get where y'all are coming from, but I know people who are having kids with people with men in those late ages. So I'm just like, that's not my reality, and it don't have to be my reality, and I can agree to disagree with y'all.
Yeah, but
I get where y'all, I 100% get where y'all coming from, but I'm gonna agree to disagree, and that's fine.
yeah, that is fine. But I'm just saying, I just be clear. I didn't say that those women can't have kids. I just said that what we're disagreeing on is you don't think that these men actually have a preference of a woman in their mid 20s to early 30s, which is what I'm saying that they have a preference of.
Where I was getting at is because I was saying, because we were talking about marriage first, and you were saying how, like, between 25 and 29, guys aren't trying to get married. They just trying to, like, do whatever. So then I was like, if you're not, and like women are trying to give them an ultimatum. And I was like, well, if you're not trying to marry at that point, but then when we both hop on to the later age, 35 through 39, now you want to hop back to the girls that are that age because you don't want to be with the girl that's your age because and now you're giving her that ultimatum. Well, you're too old, so it's like I'm too young to get married now, but then I'm too old to have a baby with you when I'm 35 through 39. That's what I was getting at.
Hey, Miss Sabrina, you were in that conversation when we were talking about like the preference thing, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah, I was there.
I was gonna ask you what you think about that, but you were actually there. Um, Rob, what do you have to say to what you just heard? And be
Li-
honest.
Hey, Rob, like, girl, you all over the place. Sit down.
Yeah, cause my listen, I don't know how I don't know. I I'm trying to make sense of it, but the thing is,
Wait,
See, I already knew about his face. He was about to be, oh my God, what?
because
I was trying to focus too on what you were saying, but I was kind of lost myself. So,
I
you
are
can't
you
play a man's game. How about that?
I do whatever I want to do, so
You can't play a man's game.
I do whatever I want to do, though.
See, and that's the thing. See, already,
What? I do what I
already. Do what you
want.
yeah, you do what you want. That's right. Do what you want. Yep.
I like it here.
Okay.
so just to kind of recap, are you trying to say that you want to wait and then if the dude decides that I'm sorry, could you recap it just for a second of what
Okay, so
kind of
I I feel that I'm going to be in a relationship or married before I'm 35. And I feel like I'm probably going to have a kid between the ages of 32 through 38. If I have a kid at 38, I'm not complaining with the guy.
Okay. I just think it's important to remember that things may not happen just the way you want it to. But you're
I
within
understand
your
that.
right to do exactly, you know what I mean, how you want. You have the right to have the vision of how you want your life to go. Just know that if you're planning something like that out, it may not necessarily happen that way.
Might
because
not, but
the
this
whole
is what
point
I envision
is
for
she doesn't.
myself, and I manifest for myself, and I can do that. And it might not pan out that way. I might be the rich auntie on a yacht with a 21-year-old boyfriend. I might be married with 4 kids. I might be a spinster. We don't know what is going to
That's the
happen in between
and
now
that's
and
the
then.
problem. That's
But
the
I
problem.
can
Nobody
still
just have
think
a
that's
plan.
my problem.
I said that is the problem. Everybody just wishing on a star
I'm
and
not wishing on the star. I'm
manifesting
just saying.
and just making it up as it go. Why can't nobody just have a plan and have a dedicated like way they want to execute things? Why you just want to
I
wait
do.
till you're 33 and then say, "Oh, well, another 5 years I'll manifest a man." Women women
I'm not manifesting no man. If I
you
don't
don't.
end up with a man, I'm not tripping. That's not on my. I need a man. Oh my god, what am I gonna do if I'm gonna be 38 and single? I don't care. If I end up married, great. If I don't, great.
and
It's
that's
not
and
like
that's the
ooh.
and that's the thing. That's very harmful to say. That's disrespectful to say, because you don't care.
How is it disrespectful that I don't
That's
care how my
disrespectful to the
how
sanctity.
which
It's
path I end up
disrespect.
on?
It's disrespectful to the sanctity of what a marriage is in relationship to your man. It's disrespectful because you
I,
saying, "Well, I don't
no.
care if it happens. It happens. If it don't, it don't." You on your wedding day. Well, I don't care. We can be married, or next week we can get divorced, but it don't
I
matter.
didn't say
I'm
that.
cool either way.
I didn't say that. I'm
That's
talking
what.
about how my
But that's
life is
the.
going.
But that's the energy that you're saying. That's the energy. You can't get results with that kind of energy. Well,
And
if I
I've
get
been
married,
getting results.
but listen,
So I'm
listen what you
listening to
just
you, but
said.
I'm getting results. What I
But you,
don't have to be with a man, with or without you. I'm getting my stuff done that I want to do. If
but
I end up getting married and a man tells me what we gonna do, great. But I'm not about to live my life. Oh,
and,
I hope I get married. Oh, my dream wedding. Da, da.
and that's why men aren't playing the
No,
game, and that's what we're trying to talk about. That's why men don't want to play, because when you say stuff like that, you in, you out. You don't care if it goes right or goes wrong. Whatever happens, happens. Why would I commit myself to that?
you
Why?
not, and that's fine.
That's insane. That's why men don't. That's why we have these issues being talked about, because a man has to commit tangible efforts, tangible resources into a relationship, and then you get the privilege to say, well, if it happened, it happened. If it don't, it don't. And if I want to get married, so what? If we get divorced, oh well, I'm gonna be good either way.
I never said if I get divorced. Oh well.
But that's the energy that you're carrying when you're saying if
That's
we
the
get.
energy you think I'm
No,
carrying.
that's what you
That's
just
what you're.
said,
That's what
ma'am.
you're hearing.
What you just said was if it happens, it happens. If it don't, oh well. So if a man comes to you in all love and all faith, and he
I'm taking
says,
them.
I would like to select this woman as my wife for a lifetime and commit myself financially, physically, emotionally to this woman, and you just like, well, okay, I guess so.
No, I'd be like, yes, let's make it happen. Not,
But
oh, okay, I guess
but the
so.
thing is, you just carry the energy and says, well, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You got to carry an energy into the relationship that says, I'm here to make it work.
I am here to make it
Because you're not
work. We're
committed
not.
to
I'm
anything.
not there yet in life, so I can't be like, oh yeah, I'm not there in life.
But you're not committed to anything.
I don't have to be committed to anything because I'm doing me and I'm making myself happy. Why do I have to be committed to something that's not even tangibly there?
Okay, but how can you expect a man to
I don't
commit
expect a
into?
man.
Okay, so what we talking about?
What you mean?
What are we talking about? Why are you here?
Wawa said she's not saying it's her. She's saying it's not her priority to necessarily find that man. When he comes, she will be ready. Is that what you're saying, Super?
Yes.
But this might, but Super, are you of the mentality? Like, I know you talked about manifesting. Are you of the mentality though, Super, of the whole manifesting and like the man, like he gonna fall on my lap type of deal?
No.
Okay,
You got to put yourself out there, go on dates, and
right.
really figure out what you want in a relationship. And that goes when you do that, you have to go out and date people because if you're not dating, you're not going to figure out what you like and don't like in a relationship.
But here's the
You're
thing.
just saying,
What
"Oh, I
I'm
want a man, and I want him to fall
what
on my lap," but you don't know
but
what you want or don't want because you're not actively dating to see what's out there.
but the thing is, when you speak like that, it's 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 childish. When you say if it happen, when what I'm trying to say is when you say if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't. You're indifferent. How can how can you be so ready for a man and be prepared when he comes along, but then also carry the energy of indifference?
Because I got ADHD and I can't help that.
And now that's not a positive excuse.
It's not a positive excuse,
That's
but
not a
that's what
valid
it is.
excuse. That's not a
And
valid
I'm
excuse.
and I'm doing the work for myself and to develop myself to for when that man comes that I'm ready. Going to therapy, manifesting, whatever you want to call it, I'm doing what I need to do to be
And
ready.
that piece is fine. That piece is that what she just said right there is a real thing. That is something that more people need to do. Be ready and have your own mind right and be comfortable with who you are as a person before you open your mind and heart to be like, okay, I'm ready to look, not even look for love, but I'm ready for that relationship to come into my life. I think what is kind of striking people the wrong way is, like he stated, it's kind of like, well, if it is, it is. If it's not, it's not. When you get to that point, you can't have that mentality. When you get to the point where you're like, okay, well, I'm 38. What age did you say? 38 was the age that you wanted to settle down. You can't wait till 38 to go, well, I'm 38 now and I'm ready for somebody. You know what I mean? It comes with preparing your mind and everything that you want that prior. And I think people just are
It's
stating that because it's not going to be a fall in your lap situation to where, you know what I mean, exactly how you want it to be.
it's just like, I mean, it has nothing to do with my emotions. The chat, whoever, I don't know you people. You can say whatever you want to say. It's nothing to do with my emotions and my ego. The indifference doesn't get you a proper result. You don't walk into a job interview and tell the person, well, if I get the job, I don't care. But if I do get it, well, that's good too. You either going to commit to trying to get the job or you're not going to get the job. You don't, you who nobody does that. That carries that much indifference. You can't carry that much indifference into a romantic relationship. You have to commit to something. You can't wait to the last minute to do a lot of things and just say, well, oh well. Just like if you're going, I mean, if there's last call for alcohol, you don't go, well, if I want to drink, then I'll just decide whenever I feel like getting a drink. No, there's last call. Last call is 15 minutes before 2. If you don't get here before 2, you're not getting a freaking drink. You can't be indifferent and just decide you want to get a drink whenever you want to. Last call is at 15 minutes before 2. There's a chain of events that happens. You need to commit to getting a drink or not getting a drink. You can't be
I don't
indifferent
drink,
about that.
but okay, I get your analogy.
It's an analogy, ma'am. Please don't do that.
I said I understood you.
Yeah, don't. I don't like to play word games. I'm giving you an analogy so you understand. There's a specific time that things need to be done. You can't wait till you're 70 and say you want to have a child.
Hey, I mean, you can always have a surrogate, so
Okay,
I
you
die.
can't produce at 70 years old. It's not healthy. It's not practical for you to want to produce a child. You're
I
not going to
understand
commit
that, but you
yourself.
can still have a child
Right.
through surrogacy or
Okay. Do you
adoption.
want a surrogate child?
If I can't physically have a child and I can afford a surrogate, I would have a surrogate.
Okay. Does your husband want a surrogate?
I don't know because I don't have a husband.
Okay. Would you think? Would your husband want a surrogate? That's what. See, the whole thing is when you're having this discussion, you're extending the time frame. A man comes to you and you're talking about you want a child, but you don't want a child, and if you want a husband, maybe so, but if he don't come, that's cool too. And the whole time just passing. What are you going to commit yourself to?
My career.
Okay, and while you committed yourself to your career and working and working and working, you're going to look up again and you're going to be 33, and then you're going to commit yourself to your career some more, and you're going to look up again, you're going to be 30.
Oh, where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Look up again. Hello?
Okay, we can hear you now.
Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you.
Right. So my whole thing is I've made that same. me myself, as a man, I got a time clock. I don't want to be 40 years old still playing in the streets, talking about I'm single, living life. That's a bad look too. Especially if the whole time I'm talking about I want to find a wife, I want to find a wife. Like we have that privilege to be 40 and get somebody that's 26 and it just can work out. But don't no grown man supposed to be in those streets at 50 talking about he's still playing and pimping.
Right.
That's not a good look. We got a time clock too, even though we don't like to say it, but we do have a time clock that's reasonable. And women definitely have one. If you're talking about you want a man and a wife, a man and children, because you want to watch some children grow. You don't want to just pop out a kid and die. So you got to be sensible. That's all I'm saying. Have a sensible direction about what you want to do. Am I making any sense to anybody? Am I just talking to myself, or what's going on here?
I understand what you're saying, but I'm living my life for me, and I am working towards my career and what I want to do. But I'm still out here dating to see what I like and don't like and doing the work on myself. And I'm not going to say, oh, if my husband falls in my lap, because that's not even really like realistic to me. I know that I'm going to meet somebody where I go, oh, I want to be with this person, but we're not at that part right now. And if I don't find them or I don't see them, which can happen, it is a possibility that you don't find the person you're supposed to be with, which is possible.
Yeah, but
I feel like you have to be okay with that. I might be by myself, but I'm not alone.
and I think the thing is when we're having this conversation between a man and a woman, you can't really you can't conceptualize an idea of being prepared because you don't carry that responsibility. Your man is going to carry that responsibility because a man like Noble and a man like me, we always have to be prepared. We always have to have a sense of responsibility to ourselves. We understand that at a certain age, we can't be walking around with no money in our pocket. We can't be walking around with no job. We can't be walking around with no goals. We can't be walking around not prepared to cater to a woman's needs. If we decide that we want to take in her company, we have a whole bunch of things that we have to be prepared for in order to take on the company and the companionship of a woman. We can't just say, well, oh well, I'll if I got it, I got it. If I don't, I don't. And if it happened, it happened. If it won't, it won't. We don't move like that. And we understand that if we don't do a certain number of things and carry a certain number of responsibilities, we won't have that outcome. It won't just happen. So that's why I think when we're having this conversation between men and women, you won't understand that because you don't carry no responsibility. The man carries the responsibility. So that's why you have a freedom that you don't have to care. It's a luxury that women have. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm not going to downplay it. It's just nature. You carry a just a carefree nature. I don't know how to say it. You don't have to prepare for anything.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing at the comments, not you. I'm trying to listen to you, and I'm looking down, and
No, it's okay. I'm not really talking to you. I'm just trying to talk to the audience and people that's listening that women don't have to care. That's why you can be indifferent and live your life and focus on career. When a man focuses on his career, he's trying to do that for the betterment of his family. When a woman is focused on her career, she's doing it to better herself.
Wawa, hey, Wawa, Wawa. Women have more choices, though, to be honest. As long as you ain't looking for Idris, you're going to be fine. See, and Wawa, that's what I was talking about the other night. How many choices do you really have? Like, I
Right,
mean,
but
it's one thing. It's one thing to have choices to like men that want to like, be physically intimate with you, but how many choices as far as when it comes to men are really trying to pursue serious relationships with a lot of women and possibly even get married to them one day? That's a whole different story. So the truth of the matter is, while a lot of women don't really have as many choices as they think they really have, honestly.
You
I
got.
don't know. My whole things I
Do
don't
you
know
go
is
to They said, "Did y'all go to college for a wife or yourself?" Stop,
no,
leave them alone.
but see that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. As men, we're already ingrained in us that as we grow in our education and we grow in our socioeconomic status, and we grow inside of our character, it's to benefit people outside of ourselves. We carry that responsibility as men. We understand that as we grow, we must share what we have. A woman can be a millionaire all day long and just serve herself. A man becomes a millionaire and serves others. A man doesn't go to no man just goes to college just because he wants to go and learn something. Most men want to go and grow their education, expand themselves so they can have the responsibility of us having a family.
That's all I was literally just about to say. So I
Mhm.
was literally just about to say, like
Men
that
go to
that that whole
college.
that whole going to school and getting like a right career and getting your money up and stuff. Like it's not just for him, especially like when he does want to like be married and or just have a family one day. Like because again, y'all want providers and protectors, and men are
Right,
supposed to be providers and protectors. So he's not just doing stuff for himself,
right,
even if he doesn't have a woman yet, even if he doesn't have children yet. Like Rob said, like men know what even comes with women and catering to women and having their company.
right.
So it's not just he's not just doing stuff for himself. Rob is woman. Y'all don't have to think about that stuff. Rob is right. Rob is 100% on point and all that.
It's the like I said, it has nothing to do with my feelings, my emotions. Has nothing to do with me. I'm not speaking for me. I'm just saying that the men that I've seen and been around, they expand and grow themselves so they can have a better chance at supporting their family.
Yeah,
Because women don't carry that same burden. Women don't carry that responsibility, and that's okay. It's not to downplay who a woman is. That's not your job. That's not a woman's position. That's most of the time that's not your job. That's a man's responsibility. That's what we accept it, and women notice as well.
I have a question.
Yeah,
Would y'all, if your wife made more money than you, would that make you feel some type of way, or you would be okay with it that she's the, I guess, the provider, aka the breadwinner?
you want me to honestly answer that question?
Yeah, would it bother you?
I've talked about this before, and I really believe this. And this is a fact. Whether some women come on here and try to be disingenuous about it, but most, and I always say most or a lot. I don't say all. Most women, especially nowadays, y'all don't want y'all want a man that y'all feel is at the very least on the same level as you, but you prefer a man that is on a higher level than you, especially when we're talking about socioeconomically. So like you could ask a man that question, but the reality is that nine out of 10 men are probably not even going to be in a situation like that because most women are not going to be really interested in it. Y'all don't want to be nobody's mom. Y'all want to build a man up. That's not your responsibility. Y'all not into struggle love and this, that, and the third. So like when y'all are saying all of that, to even ask a man, well, what if you were with a woman that was making more? I've had countless number of women on here say that they're not interested in that, and I've had women on here that have been disingenuous and said that, I could be making 70,000, but if my man's making at least 30,000, at least we got 100,000 in the household. So it's like I like that. I mean, that's not going to be a reality for a lot of women, especially today.
let's do it like this. Even to support what you're saying, if I want to take it the other direction,
Let's be real.
it's like a sliding scale. It's like a creative player or Pokemon, whatever you know about video games. When you create that player, you make them tall, so that makes them a little bit slower. You make them fat, so that makes them they're not as strong. When it comes down to all these factors, it's like a sliding scale. If a woman is making more money than a man has to have all these other freaking bars of him has to be freaking maxed out so that woman still respects him as a man and respects his leadership and respects his discipline and respects his character enough that she's not even stressed about the money portion because he has everything else maxed out. Practical.
So,
Practically.
Super, is what we just said facts or is it not facts?
Well,
Even
yeah.
even you, Miss Reno, what do you think about what we just said?
That makes sense to me. 100% on the making up for that, on the to tip the scale to have that respect.
Right.
Um,
He has to
you
give.
know,
And
absolutely.
let's not talk about women that actually like already have children. Let one child, let alone children. Trust me, I know them. I communicate with them. They're not interested. They have already have children need to take over. They say they're not gonna be care of a grown man either. So what do you have to say to that, Super?
I was gonna say what Lily said. My respect for a man doesn't come through his wallet. I agree with that, but if she's making, for me, if the wife is making more than the husband, they have to figure out who's going to be the masculine one and who's going to be the feminine one in that relationship
That don't got nothing
to
to do
even
with
out
nothing.
the balance.
That don't have nothing to do with nothing. You got to figure out who's masculine and who's feminine.
Okay,
That's poor.
Rob, let me ask her a question. Okay, so Super, like I just said and what I was talking about. How realistic do you think it is that women are going to be dealing with men that they're making significantly more money than? Like, let's be all the way honest. Like, let's not play games, especially here in America. What is the reality that women are going to be dating men seriously that they're making significantly more money than? Let's be all the way real.
A very low percentage.
Here's what I want to say. I want to say this because every time we have these discussions, all these monkey wrenches keep getting thrown into the conversation. Do you
Thank you
plan
for
to
your
make more
time.
money than your man?
No,
Okay, so what we talking about?
I'm just asking.
Don't ask stuff that don't pertain to nothing we talking about. That's a monkey wrench in the situation. It's unproductive.
Basically, you saying I can't ask questions. Okay.
It's unproductive. You plan to make more money than your man?
If I do, then we just gonna have to cross that bridge when we get there.
Okay. Do you want to make more money than your
No,
man?
no, he asked you, do you plan to do that? Yes or no?
I don't know because I'm not there.
Okay, it's not about you don't know. Do you plan to make more money than your man?
I don't know.
Do you make under six
It's
figures?
a yes or no question, Super. It's like, do you want to? Do you plan to? Do you want to?
I mean, it's not a competition, so
Okay, how do you
okay. Let me
plan?
put it this way. Let me put this way. I'm gonna be a teacher who ends up becoming a professor who tenure at a university. That's where my career plan is going to.
Okay, so under six figures. So with you meeting your man,
No, actually, not under it. If you
it,
are a teacher for so many years and you have your master's, you're making 100K a year.
okay, maybe
Well, where
so
I live.
under six figures. But the whole thing is when it comes to you getting involved with a man, especially if you're an educator, you're not really going to be associated in the same arena as men that's making lawyer money, engineer money, all that kind of stuff. You're gonna be looking at a man that's in your social class. So you guys are gonna be making around the same amount of money. So you're gonna be in cooperation and coordination with him as far as income goes. You're gonna be working at a school for 8 hours a day. Then you're gonna move into the collegiate level. That's gonna be that's about 8 hours a day. So you're gonna be in proxy to men that's making about the same money as you.
Possibly.
Right, because it's just how it works. You're gonna marry who's in proximity to you. So as far as having a discussion about you making more money than your man and all this kind of stuff, yeah, that's cool. But the whole thing is you still want your man to be a man. The money part is irrelevant. You still want your man to be a man. And as far as what you understand, you want to respect your man as a coordinator, as a provider, as somebody that is highly intelligent that you can respect. You don't want somebody that's below you because that's not what turns you on.
But and before you talk to, but like, yeah, you talk about the whole money. Shouldn't be having nothing to do with the masculine, the feminine, and the respect thing. But like we talk about on here, and like I say, when they can be all disingenuous that they want to be. Like a lot of women, bro. Just the fact that, like you said earlier, and like Miss Sabrina acknowledged, why even as a man then do you have to be all the way up on all this other stuff if she does make more money, if she does make more money than you? Why is it that men who, if you want to use the term, date down significantly more than women, why is it not the same for them then? Because they do value money. Their respect level and their tolerance level for you is going to vary depending on the caliber of man you are, whether they want to be disingenuous about it or not. That's a fact. Y'all can lie about it if you want to, but
And I don't like talking. Like, I understand the discussion. Everything keeps talking about money, and if a man got more money, a woman got more money. The whole thing is, all us in this conversation, we ain't no millionaires. Ain't nobody in this conversation no millionaire. And the whole thing is, when you're talking about money, like, they don't have nothing to do with who's in charge. Who's in charge
Right.
is who's the best decision maker. And you want your man to be a strong decision maker.
Right. The key fundamentals are there no matter if you making 40,000 or
Right.
a hundred
Right.
thousand. So the money part isn't the important part of
Right. That's all I'm
what
saying.
we're talking about.
Like, it has nothing to do with me. That's why I can't get offended. I'm not dating you. I don't want you. I don't know you. But my whole thing is, good and dang well, when you lay in your bed at night and you might think about a man, you don't think about no man that's below you, that's shriveling in the corner. Or whatever you say, baby, whatever decision you make, I'll just go along with it. That don't make you excited. You want a man that can be strong and be able to hold you and say, I'm making this happen. Follow me.
Hmm.
That's just the truth. You don't When you lay in your bed and fantasize about man, you don't think about no man. You don't do that. No woman does that. Nobody does that. None of these women do that. So I don't understand why the conversation keeps going into all these crazy scenarios about, I ain't submitting to a man and I don't follow directions and we gonna be equals, when you know that that's not what
Legally.
gets you
Oh
excited.
no.
That's not what gets you excited. Am I telling the truth or not?
Yeah, I don't. The whole submission thing, it's like, no, I want to be with somebody who knows how to lead. I'm not going to say I submit to anybody. You
You
know what
don't
I'm
have to
saying?
say you don't
My
have to
Girl,
say
opinion,
that.
relax. Real
right.
sis.
Y- Right, because I mean, I can have an opinion, and you know what I'm saying. He can ask me for mine when it comes to making decisions, but ultimately, I want somebody who's going to say this is the right decision. Cool. All right, this is what
Right.
we're
So
doing.
just
Great.
leave it at
Bam.
that.
Let's
I'm
go.
not.
Yeah.
Don't just leave it at that. I don't want to talk about submission. I don't want to talk about none of that. You want to be able, in your small, womanly, soft, pretty frame, have a man said, "I made a decision. This was the best decision for us," and you want to be able to look in his eyes and say, "Okay, that's what you want." Whether you want to call it submission or what, that's your business. But what you want is a man that wants this, that can make a choice and stand on it, and you just ride and say, okay, he got it. Whatever words you want to use to describe that, that's your business. But that's what you want. That's what a lot of women want. All the women I've dated, that's what they want. The women that I went on a date and didn't make a right decision, it's because they said, "Oh, maybe I wasn't as decisive. I wasn't strong. I didn't say this right. I didn't say that right." Women ultimately want a man that make a decision, so you can be soft and pretty and just go along for the ride.
Are you in a relationship right now, Rob? I just was at in my.
No, I'm not. I'm not in a relationship. You know why I'm not in a relationship? Because the whole thing is, I'm very clear on what I'm trying to accomplish, which I already have accomplished. And relationships were a distraction. I date all the time. I'm going on a date tomorrow morning. I'm going bike riding tomorrow morning. Might jump in the water, 9 o'clock in the morning. I'm going on a date. I go on dates. So I'm not worried about that part. But a relationship, I understand that when I date, I want the sanctity of marriage at the end. I don't want to just be playing. I want
Okay,
some
I have
real.
another question. What is the sanctity of marriage to you? I just I'm curious now. I want to know.
when it comes down to making a commitment about being married to somebody, I'm committing my mind, my physicality, my emotions to this person. That way I know that we are completely engaged with each other for a common goal. I understand a lot deeper than marriage than just putting a ring and having a pretty wedding. And I've already brought this up so many different times. That's why when we talk about money and stuff, my mind just races to who's running the budget, how many bank accounts y'all got, whose credit is on par, how many lines of credit do you have, how many cars are on your credit, how many who's going to have the house in their name, why is the house in your name, because your credit line is stronger. That's the way. See, that's the way I think. So my whole thing is, I'm just a regular guy, so I'm pretty sure that men that have businesses and that make $300,000 a year, they got a lot more things to worry about. And if I'm already on that level, then they asking for a whole lot more.
But Rod, even okay. So for those of you that don't know, say it again. The average black man, the average earnings for the black man last year was $41,964. For the black woman, it was like $42,172. So yes, Rob, while everyone is not a millionaire out here, everyone's not making, everyone is clearly, especially in our community, not making six figures out here. Your lifestyle is going to be significantly different. A woman's lifestyle can possibly be significantly different from being with a man that's making 40,000 versus a man that's making 80,000. So go ahead. What you guys say to that?
And here's my thing: is that a lot of us, when we're having this conversation, like I said, I don't care if you get offended. Everybody, like I said, ain't nobody in here no millionaire. Everybody here is of average income. Everybody is of an average lifestyle. No, ain't nobody in this conversation that's watching right now can go out and spend $4,000 every other week whenever they feel like it. Y'all ain't got it like that. Your credit ain't strong like that. Ain't nobody got no family members that's moving like that. So the whole thing is, when we come to talk about this conversation about money and financing and stuff, it's a lot deeper than just having money to blow. Expendable income is not success and just blowing it. A lot of women say they want to provide a protector so they can just blow through money. But
Yeah,
ain't no sensible man just blowing through his freaking money.
a man that like has an understanding of that. But
Right.
like
A
you
man that
said,
has a right.
But like you said, there's a lot of women that want to do that, and like you said, that is their meaning of the whole provider thing. So they
Right.
know that John over here that's working the fries at McDonald's making $30,000. They know he's gonna have less expendable income if he even has
Right.
any than Peter over here that's making $70,000 at his corporate job.
Right.
So whether they want to be disingenuous to say that it's all about how he treats me ultimately. Like, well, Peter might treat you way better than Billy over here because Peter not making the most money. He got to make up in a lot of other ways. But why don't you go with Peter then? Because
Women,
it's
women just all these women they say provide and protector. What they really mean is, does he have enough money to just spend it? Is it disposable money I can just spend and spend and spend whenever I feel like it? Is it enough money where I can just go and buy a bag and go to dinner and do whatever I want to do?
Not
It never
necessarily.
it
yeah.
never the
Let's let the woman in here spit this.
No.
the conversation never steers to anything that's of structure. Never gears toward anything about a life insurance policy. Never gears
Stocks,
anything to about a
Wrong.
car insurance.
Wrong.
Never
investments.
never
Wrong.
gears toward
Let's let the
anything
woman
about
speak. Let's let the woman speak to that. Let's start with you, Super, and then I want to hear what Miss Sabrina has to say.
Wait, make Sabrina go first because I wasn't 100% listening. Have her go first.
Go ahead, Miss Sabrina.
I mean, if that's your experiences, Rob, you're very matter of fact on that. I know me and my circle of women that I converse with, we're talking about stocks, we're talking about life insurance, we're talking about savings. different types of how diversifying the income. You know what I'm saying? So it's not always just black and white as you portray it to be. Now, are there women like that? Absolutely. I know you're gonna hit me with you're giving me an anecdotal situation, but that's not necessarily true. There are women who think beyond basics, and I definitely there's definitely the wave of women who care about bags and hair and nails,
But
but that's
ma'am,
not, there's a culture of that, but there's definitely other women who
here's the,
think otherwise.
but when we have this conversation, one thing I want everybody, for all of us to stop doing, is to stop trying to qualify every statement. Not all women, not all men, some. There's a little subset that we talking about what we talking about.
So what is the problem then with me speaking up to say that there's a contrary to what you're saying? So is this just a
Because the
bashing
country is
session? Is this just, hold on?
no
Is
because
this can you just let me finish? Is this a bashing session? Are we just here to be bitter and speak negatively about, well, this is the bad situation, the side of things? No, I don't think so. I don't think Noble feels like that way either. I mean, I can express and say that that's not all the way true. And maybe it does benefit other people in the room to hear other positive things to the contrary that you're saying with certain things. That's all.
but the
You
whole
know what I
thing
mean?
is I'm not discrediting anything you're saying, okay? But my whole thing is these conversations, they no content that you've ever watched on TikTok where any woman talks about provider protector ever leads toward ever leads toward a result where she talks about life insurance, talks about the actual quality of having a home, of maintaining a family. The conversation is always, always steered toward the luxury of having disposable income to live a soft luxury lifestyle. It's never connected to anything of substance, anything of true long-term value. It's always the most superficial conversation. So when we have about not all women, some women, I'm speaking to the context that all of these conversations always lead to something surface level. And I'm trying to get us to reach something that's stronger than that.
So wouldn't you think though talking about the contrary in the conversation would be a positive outlook on that? We could talk about the women who do that all day. But I think to paint the better picture on the solution is we can talk about different stuff. But we can agree to disagree. That's cool. I'm just saying that um, we can also have the conversation at the same time that all women don't think like that,
Yeah,
and
that's cool. All
lead it
women
with that.
don't think like that. But when are we gonna start to let them know what they need to be thinking about? That's the problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's part of what I'm doing as well. It doesn't have to be the same way. You pointing out a fact that some women think that way is can help just as me to speak up and say we don't all think that way. You know
Okay,
what I'm saying?
So,
So,
okay. But here's my thing: if you don't all think that way, how come the large majority of women we're not pairing up and getting things what we need done? I'm not upset. I'm not bitter. I don't have no dog in the fight. I'm gonna be all right. I know exactly what I'm trying to achieve, exactly where I'm trying to go. I know who I'm trying to choose. My whole thing is it never comes for us, especially I hate to say it, but as black folks, to be discussing something that's a lot deeper. And that's my somewhat of a frustration when we have this conversation. It's always the monkey wrench about, well, if he make more money, if she got a job and he got six fig, and there's always all these kind of crazy conversations going on, but it's never practical solutions to anything.
what would be the practical solution for you with what you just mentioned about, um, the woman wanting? Sorry, hold on, my daughter just came in. But what would be your solution then in that case?
but Miss Sabrina, like and be 100% real when I ask you that question. And Rob lives his own life. I don't know what age range of woman like Rob deals with on a consistent basis, but like when you were my age, Miss Sabrina, like, and be 100% honest, were you thinking about when were you thinking about as far as like in relationships with men, were you thinking about life insurance and investments and some of the other stuff Rob was talking about, because that's, and that's like, even when I talk to other women your age and older, that's one thing for you to be saying right now. But like when you were my age, and when you were my age, and just today, from what you've seen, or do you think that women in their mid to late 20s are really having that mindset pertaining to relationships with men?
We weren't talking specifically about an age group. He was just saying in general, whenever a woman in general talks about they want somebody who's a provider, that it always goes to one particular thing. If it is a specific age group, it would be more ideal that it is a younger person that is thinking that way, not thinking about the future, not thinking about stability, in that aspect. So,
Yeah, I agree with you. I
yeah, it
agree with
probably
you.
does have to do with.
I know it's not every. I know it's not every. Yeah, I know it's not. I 100%. It's not everyone. I don't even know. Well, I don't want to say if it's most or if it's a lot, but I mean, I think we can. I think we can kind of agree though that maybe a woman's priorities in her mid 30s to late 30s is different from the priorities of a woman in her mid 20s to late 20s. Correct?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's yeah, that's probably about the range. Like I said, anybody could have. I know women. I've known women who have my age range and not my mindset. So, but it's a
Right.
give or take thing. But yeah,
Right.
majority of 20-year-olds are not thinking about that type of thing. But that's
So,
just what it
but
is.
here's what I'm saying. It's not to discredit anybody what you're saying. I'm in complete agreement. I understand exactly what you're saying. I don't have no fight against what you're talking about. But for a man like Noble, who is 25 years old, a man like me, for most men, we understand that we have to incur the cost. We have to check ourselves because we always have to incur the debt. We have to incur the lack of resource. We have to take on the responsibility of going without or being a have not or the haves because we have to be responsible for that. So when it comes down to young ladies, so you might be a little bit older that you're already with your group of women and you guys are talking about things that are of a mature level toward the long-term goal. But when it comes down to dating and women like Super who just up in the wind going whenever they want to go and just floating around, men don't get.
Definitely on the ground, but thank you for putting me in that.
But that's what you said is that you're just exploring life, enjoying life if it happened to happen. So the whole thing is for men, when I'm speaking, it's because we have to be aware.
I'll be right back.
Men have to be aware. We can't just live our life and be whatever.
Who told you that?
In order for a man, in order for a man to take on a relationship, he has to have cash. We can't we that's tangible.
Wawa, are you saying Wawa? You saying wow? You saying society? You saying society made it that way, Wawa? So Wawa. So if your little brother, or I don't know, little nephews or little cousins that you may have that you really care about, that are young men, like if they go to school, if they don't go to school, especially if they don't go to school, like when they start, like even in their early 20s, you're not gonna start like trying to tell them like, yo, you need to like get your stuff together. You need to start preparing for your future. Like you need to take your 20s very seriously.
Right. Because
Come
we
on,
have a
guys, we gotta be
responsibility.
real. We gotta be
Because we
real.
because we have a responsibility. We always have a response. As men, we have a responsibility. We understand that. Little girls aren't told to hurry up and get a job and hurry up and get some. I mean, whatever feminism did what it did, or whatever kind of structure y'all got going on. But as in your nature, that's not your gig to go out and fight the world and become something and gather up all the resources. Your job is to be ready because a man is going to go out and do all the other stuff. That's just what I mean. That's not my ego. That's what we all accept. That's what we know. That's what we know. I mean, that's what we know. Yeah, I don't know how else to put it. Especially if we talk about black men. If we all black in this conversation,
Miss Sabrina, what are your thoughts on that?
She said she'd be right back.
Oh, that was her. Oh, I thought that was you that
She
said
went
that.
somewhere.
Oh, okay.
but that's just what it is. That's
No.
why. I mean, that's what it is. Nobody understands as a black man, he can't be coming up with empty pockets and nothing going on and just think he's gonna get all the best results in the world and it's gonna
Yeah,
happen because he's wishing on the star.
right. Like I'm
You
not
don't
about.
got that privilege.
I'm damn sure not about to
Maybe
manifest.
I have a different point of view because I see a lot of black men with women who don't have anything, no money, no job, no nothing, and they're living off of the girl. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, I understand where you guys are
Because
coming from, but I'm seeing the opposite.
because because respectfully, that's a dumb woman. Only a dumb woman is gonna do something like that,
Right.
right?
We don't
Only
have.
on that's not me being in my feelings. That's not me being disrespectful. Only a dumb woman is gonna do something like that. I have a younger sister, so I need to make sure that my younger sister doesn't follow in the same directions as the other dumb women out here that are doing stuff like that. So we're not gonna use that as an example. Only
Yeah,
dumb women do stuff like
and
that.
and when you mention that, right,
Come on.
that situation, you understand that that's not how men are taught to be. You understand that he's getting by, like he's being a snake getting around his nature by manipulating the resources of that woman.
Right.
He knows good and dang well he's out of place living off the means of a woman. He knows that.
Miss Sabrina, Super just said that she knows she's seen a lot of black men that, no job, don't got anything going on, and they're living with women and sponging off a woman. And I said it's only dumb women that are allowing men to do stuff like that. I said I have a little sister. I gotta make sure that my little sister doesn't follow in the same footsteps as a lot of these other dumb women out here. So that's
Can we
not
not call them dumb? Let's say like they're not aware or how to do
Well,
better.
they're
Like
definitely insecure and come from situations where they don't value themselves clearly.
yeah,
Right.
they don't make it better to do better.
And the
So
whole
let's not
thing
call them
is,
dumb. Just say they don't have the resources to know that the situation that they're in is foolishness.
right.
we
And
can't
and
say that
guess
they
what?
all don't have the resources. We can't say that.
Right.
Right, that's
But
not all the
but
way
here's
true.
the
We
thing.
that's
Here's
that
the thing.
that's it's all making excuses at the end of the day again. That's
You're
what
confirming you're confirming exactly what I said. Because if it was right for a man to just be living off a woman, we wouldn't have to have that discussion to say they're dumb. You understand that they're out of place. You understand and you're confirming that it's not a woman's position to go out and have all the resources and take care of a man. You accept that just because you're defending that they're out of place. You understand and you accept and you justify that it's more of a man's position to have what he's supposed to have and a woman's supposed to be in counterpart to what he's got going on. You're supporting the position.
Wawa said he could be stay at home and that's fine. I think the difference would be somebody who has no ambitions, not helping out in the household whatsoever, is just sitting on the couch, right? As opposed to like a stay at home arrangement where the,
Correct.
the man stays home, cooks, cleans, helps with the kids most,
Correct.
you know what I mean, majority, and then the woman brings home the check. I think there's a big difference. I think we're talking about the men who uh do not have any type of goals or any type of help to be offered.
Okay, and the whole thing is, how many of your girlfriends when they get excited and y'all have y'all conversation and drink wine together says, "I'm looking for a man to stay in the
yeah,
house and
right.
cook and clean. I'm
Bro,
gonna
what
go
are we
work."
talking about?
Ain't none of your girlfriends talking about that and being proud to talk like that. And
I
you
have a friend who does. She works and the her husband stays at home, but he can fix anything. And that's their arrangement.
Okay, do the majority of women want that?
I don't know. Maybe some do, some don't. It's a
and it,
I can't speak
It's
for
definitely
all
not a
I can't
majority.
speak for everybody.
There you
That's
go.
being
Now you're saying it.
that's being disingenuous, Super. That's being
That's what I'm
disingenuous.
saying. You know good and
I
damn
can't
well.
speak for
Again,
everybody. I can't.
you can't. You're not speaking for
Most
everyone. You're speaking for the. Okay, so on average, who makes more money over the course of a career? A high school graduate or a college graduate?
What is the
Okay,
job that they're
okay.
doing?
Can we please answer? Who makes more over
Where
the course of a career?
is the high school graduate only working at McDonald's? What are they doing differently? Are they
Okay,
Who on average hold on, Rob, who on average statistically makes more money? The high school graduate or the college graduate?
but what are they doing? I need to know
No,
their
just
job.
answer the question.
I wouldn't know that answer because I've never
This
looked at
is
the
the
statistics,
whole
so I can't tell you.
okay. You don't know? Okay. The college graduates make okay, that's very interesting that you don't know that. I don't believe that.
I
But
don't know that because there's
college
college graduates who aren't that are
but
on
see,
the
that's
same
what I'm
level as the
saying.
high
We
school
going off
graduate
the
working at
rails.
okay,
McDonald's. So
okay. Yeah, I
I
know.
don't know. I
Maryland
don't know the
Maryland
statistics
Maid.
because
Maryland
I
Maid.
don't. I wouldn't.
It
Okay,
is
how
being
about
That's
this?
not something I
disingenuous.
looked at.
Maryland Maid is being disingenuous.
No,
Let me speak to her, Rob. So on average, college graduates make more than high school graduates. Are there instances where high school graduates make more over the course of a career than college graduates? Yes, but on average, college graduates make more. So to try to make it seem as if you're speaking for everyone or if you can't generalize, yes, you can. So for you to say that you don't, for me to ask you, do most women want an arrangement like that, and you say I don't know, that's being disingenuous.
but here's my thing. Let's make it even base level. Can a man,
Ah,
if you go out with your girls and a man come up to one of your girls and say, "Can you buy me a drink? Buy me a drink." How many of your girls buying that man a drink?
Probably not. None of them.
Why?
Just so that's just random. Why are we buying him a drink?
Why not? He's attractive. Why not?
Why? Why would we buy random people like a random guy that we don't know drink? Like I don't understand.
Because the whole point of why I say that is because when women don't carry the responsibility of doing the dating, women don't carry the responsibility of committing themselves to making that kind of decision. The man has to carry that decision. The man does the dating. The man carries the responsibility. It's just hardwired. It's hardwired into us. You would, if a man came up to you and says, "I'm buying you a drink," would you just say, "Ew, no"?
I was saying, oh, thank you, but no, thank you.
But you understand that a man takes you on a date. How often do you pay for all the dates when you take a man out?
don't even ask her specifically, Rob. Bro, take the glove, bro. Who does the initiating most of the time?
That's what I'm saying.
Who takes who on dates more? Let's ask her this. Let's see if she knows this. She didn't know the answer to the other questions. Super. Who initiates more when it comes who initiates the other party more? Is it do men initiate women more or do women initiate men more? And when it comes to like going on dates and stuff, who's mostly responsible for taking the other person on a date, paying and things of that nature? Is it the man or the woman? Answer both.
Um, where usually a man is initiating a date, and whoever initiates the date is the one paying.
This ain't productive right here. Because what we trying to talk about
I
is
just
that
answered the question. How am I not being productive?
because you and your homegirls know good and dang well that y'all don't be walking up to me and talking about I'm taking you on a date.
Me and my homegirls. Okay.
You, your homegirls, if you told your mama, your grandmama, your girl cousins, some girls in your group that you've been out on 10 dates and you pay for all of them, they look at you crazy.
Rob, she knows this stuff. Rob, you and her the same age. She knows this
I
stuff.
don't. I don't ask men out on dates. That's why I'm confused
Right. Why don't you?
because I don't have to
Okay, why?
because they ask me.
Okay, but exactly. They ask you. They're the initiators. They carry the responsibility.
Miss
You don't carry
Sabrina,
no
Miss
responsibility.
Sabrina is. I mean, in. I mean, you've been sitting here listening. I mean, like honestly, I mean, you don't know Suba, so you can't say whether you like think she's being, genuine or disingenuous. But I mean, do you think that if I was you were to ask a lot of other women these same questions, that they would give these same answers if they were just being 100% honest?
Oh, so you don't think
Uh,
I'm being?
she she's avoiding the question to give something that sounds better to her. I believe, but I mean that's if that's how she feels, that's how she feels. You
So
can't.
in other words, being disingenuous.
Yeah, I think she knows what the answer is, but again, I'm not here to attack her on that.
I'm not here to
If
attack her
that's
either.
how she
So
wants
I'm
to
gonna call.
communicate with it, that's
I'm
how
not
she
here to.
wants to.
I'm not here to attack her either, but I am gonna call out what's going on.
Yeah.
My thing, we can't get nowhere if we can't accept it. I accept reality.
Yeah,
I accept that I need to go be fit if I want better outcomes. I need to have some cash in my pocket if I want to have better outcomes. I need to be a good talker. If I need to have better, I need to be able to speak very well to myself. I need to have better outcomes. I don't just go out to the world and just lie to myself and say, well, just me existing is enough. Yeah, I want to be loved at whatever level I'm at. I think you can, but I understand that I have to be a certain caliber of person to get certain results. And as for women, you understand that it's not your position to go out and go searching for men. It's not your position to go out and go ask men on dates. It's not your position. It's not your position to go to a bar or a club night and then go buy a section and have 30 dudes in your section. That's not your responsibility. That's not how you operate. That's not your position to walk up to men. Yeah, it happens, but it's not always your position to go and court men.
Fran, Wawa, do y'all want to? Fran, I know you're gonna keep it real. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know,
I, I,
Fran, I know you agree with him. Like, it's just again, just being disingenuous. It is what it is, and I call it how I see it.
and it's not going to push the conversation forward, Supa, to dance around their questions. Just give the honest, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
There's no growth in the conversation
right.
if if you're not wanting to answer the questions completely and honestly.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a I got you moment. It's not. We accept it. We accept it. It's just nature. We accept our role. Like, yes, it would be nice to have, you know, some relaxation and somebody that wants to work as hard as we do, but we understand that no matter what, no matter how far we go, no matter how educated a woman is, no matter how much money she got, it's always going to be on the man to make sure he got what he got so he can be respected. I don't care how much we progress, because the thing is, I've already said it so many times. We keep talking about women making money and women being educated and women having jobs and women having business and this and this and this and that. But guess what? Don't none of that put a don't none of that put a man in a place of comfort. Ain't no woman going to start no business and then and the next thing you hear out her mouth is, I can't wait to put a man in a position where he can just sit in the house and do nothing.
Not happening.
Rob, she knows this. Rob, you don't got to keep repeating yourself, bro. She knows this. She
Ain't
knows
no
this.
woman moving like that.
I've done this so many times now. I've dealt with this so many times now. You don't got to keep repeating yourself. She
I'm not.
knows.
I'm trying to make sense of it because my
No,
whole thing is
Rob. She knows, and the women in the chat right now know this. It's just a matter of, do I want to be genuine or do I want to be disingenuous? That's all it is. At the end, you don't got to keep repeating yourself. You don't got to do that. I
I'm
agree. The
just
man is historically seen as the foundation of a household.
somebody
He
said
better
wow.
be working.
I'm just trying to get us somewhere productive. Once we can get somewhere that we all understand what's going on, then everything gonna be cool.
But she told you she told you she's indifferent though. Wawa and Fran, are y'all do y'all want to come up and answer these questions? I want to see what y'all have to say about it. Super, Miss Sabrina, I appreciate y'all. I want to bring up a couple more women, okay?
All right.
You have a good night, Miss Sabrina.
My whole thing, Noble, is here's what I got to say for you, man. Because I don't think you understand that these conversations, all this stuff we talking about through our phones, through this app called TikTok, this is happening in real life. Like
no, I know it's happening in real life. That's why I come on here and have these conversations. I want
like
to make more people. I want to make people more privy to it. But Rob, not because we're on TikTok doesn't mean this isn't real either. This is not a video game right now. This like you and I are real people. We're having a real conversation right now. Like I said, Rob, I've done this plenty of times now, bro. That's not the first time that I've talked to someone that was just clearly being disingenuous.
Yeah, it's because the whole thing is my whole thing when we having this conversation, I think about the men. I think about you. I think about other black men that's out here trying their best to make it in society, trying their hardest to be upstanding men, trying their hardest not to be in the streets, and then they go and try to interact with women, and they actually trying to be righteous people, and they still not enough. They still got to do more and more and more, and still got to do this and still got to do that, still got to be arguing with people and still got to be fussing with people. It's just
Hey.
when can
Hey,
you take
friend,
a
how you
break?
doing?
Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. Good. How are you?
No, you're
No,
fine.
you're
I'm all
fine.
right.